Hey, YouTube. Ugh, let me get comfortable here a minute. Just got in. Parking is crazy. Driving is crazy. Welcome to Minnesota. Land of 10,000 lakes. No, really not 10,000 lakes. Actually, it's more than 11,000 lakes, but you know it's Minnesotans. We just like to keep it on the down low, so they say 10,000. Lots of lakes, lots of water, lots of opportunity for people to get swimmer's itch. It's Minnesota. Um, I mentioned that there is another snow emergency, that there is a weather advisory. There is a snowstorm coming. And in fact, it's kind of here already. A few weeks ago, I mentioned that there was this huge weather pattern that was going to be going through 10 states. Actually, it enlarged to 15 states, but for some reason, the state that was most important to me, Minnesota, didn't get hit by that storm. But guess what? We're getting hit today. Started yesterday. Supposed to go through tomorrow, and they said by the time it's all over and done with, we should have between 20 to 24 inches of snow, which is just like the blizzard of 1991. How I remember that very well. I was here then. I was in that storm. But that's a story for another day. Oh, goodness. So, we've got a weather advisory. They had already made it so that people could only park on one side of the street so that they could have time to plow the rest of the street. But, yeah. People have been parking on one side of the street ever since they said that, and they still had not really come through. Well, they came through once to plow that open space on the opposite side of the street here. Only once. Why is that important? Because it snows all the time. Again, this is Minnesota. Twin Cities, in fact. So, yeah, they're kind of doing their job. So, now they're saying we're going to be doing the snow emergency route thing where starting day one, because it already started snowing yesterday, this is officially day one starting at 4 p.m., which means it's already started now. People can only be parked on the one side of the street, which they were already anyway, but because it's a snow emergency, nobody can be parked on those snow emergency routes. Normally, if it's just parking on the outside of the street, which was the new thing that was supposed to go through April, people could still park on the snow emergency route, but not today because of how this all is. Can't park on either side of the street on a snow emergency route. They're going to come with the big dang plow, and they're going to plow that whole street. So they're going to come first with the little meter maid or meter reader person or whatever. There's not even meters on that street. They're going to have somebody out there putting tickets on all those vehicles that are parked on both sides of the street on the snow emergency route. And then they'll have a tow truck coming right behind that, loading up the cars to take them to the impound lot. And then after that, our lucky winners will get to go to the impound lot with their registration, the driver's license, proof of insurance, and cash in hand to pay for the ticket, the tow, the impound fee, and the increases on those fees every day until the vehicle's taken out. Then they get to ride on a little bus, and after they've paid their fees and drive around for about half a day looking through a sea of a million cars to try to find their vehicle so they can get their vehicle and they can drive out of there missing work, missing the opportunity to get an income from work because they're there doing that, a nice crunch in the pocket just before the first of the month. Now, once I got out of my parking space from work, because I got stuck, of course, on the way to work this morning. But eventually, going back and forth and back and forth, I eventually got out, went around the block, and went on the snow emergency route where people just usually are just jetting down the street. Found a spot, and I parked, and I was like, I don't care if I got to walk all the way down there. And that's what I did, and I walked the rest of the way to work. And so after work, I got stuck again because I couldn't get out of the spot because the snow was building up under my car that sits low to the ground. But eventually I got out and I was able to get around the block and head home and come around my neighborhood, try to come down my own street, which of course everybody must have got off work like 2 or 3 hours early or just didn't go to work today or whatever. And so I went around the block. And then I had to make a ring around the next layer, trying to find wherever is the closest spot to where I live that's on the appropriate side of the street so that I wouldn't get ticketed or towed and hopefully not get snowed in or plowed in, which happened with the last big weather fandango that went on. So I eventually found a spot, then had to walk a good bit, going around that perimeter to make it all the way back to get here. And then tomorrow I'll get to do it all over again, except then I will have to switch to a different side of the street or a different street altogether. It's kind of like being in New York or something, but this is Minnesota. This is really how Minnesota is turning out to be. This is how the Twin Cities is turning out to be because they really want to get all this plowing and business done, but I still got to take my hat off. But now I'll have hat head when I take it off. But the weather's bad. The blizzard is here. I'll try to do some sharing and reporting tomorrow on it so you can see the accumulation of snow and crazy people driving and all that jazz. But I received a message in my phone that from the energy company saying to expect power outages. So we know what we do when there's power outages, right? We pull out those little mini power generators like I've talked about on other videos. We pull out those flashlights. You make sure you got enough blankets stacked up on your bed so you can stay comfy and toasty and warm. And make sure you have some stuff that you can eat so that you can have your act together. And if you have like those lawn stakes, those solar lawn stakes, have them jokers up in the window so that they can get whatever daylight that they can right now. Because then if the power goes out, you'll at least have a little bit of light. If you don't have a power generator or a flashlight or whatever, it's a dollar store thing. You pay $1.25 each for those. Or if it's like the holiday season or something, say it's like Christmas time and they have ones that are red and green. And then Christmas is over and they want to get rid of those because they are Christmassy looking or whatever. Well, when they're ready to get rid of them, then you pay 50 cents instead of that $1.25 because they're trying to get rid of them. You got to think that way so you can get those prep items that you need at the lowest possible price. And you can do the low. You just have to really focus and try to make it happen. So, this is it. We're in the storm. Let's see how things roll out. I got enough kitty litter. I got enough cat food. I got supplies for me. And I look forward to talking to you again real soon. I hope you're prepared wherever you are because everything's changing. And in case you haven't noticed, even like the atmosphere is changing, or maybe it's just me. I'm not trying to sound all cuckoo or anything, but in my home, I've got, I try to not have it super dusty or whatever. I try to keep stuff kind of together. And I can breathe just fine. But if I go outside or go to work or other places, I start hacking and coughing and everything. What's the matter? Is it dust? Is it something else in the atmosphere? Why would I have a problem outside if I don't have a problem inside? Just curious. I just think it's a little weird. So when I'm outside of my home, what do I have to do? I got to put on the mask so that I'm not hacking and coughing like I'm about to hack up a lung or whatever. I'm at home. Am I coughing? Do you hear me coughing? No, you don't. I'm fine. Go in my prayer room. Ain't hacking, ain't coughing, none of that. Go out that front door and I start. Go to different buildings or facilities and I start. I start hacking and coughing. It's not everywhere, but there are certain places where it's happening. I don't know if we want to say that it's the mold underneath that upper layer of dirt outside. That's what I used to tell people. But we got too much daggone snow outside right now for there to be any mold up under there. It's snow. But I'll get out there and I have trouble breathing. I think it sounds a little strange. I think it is a little strange. I don't know what you think about it, but I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Do you know anyone that's experiencing that? And it's not the C+. It's not Miss Rona, because I done took 4 tests and I'm not positive. It's something in the atmosphere. Something is different. Just as much as before, which now you can't even see it because the sky is cloudy all day. You remember when you used to sing that song when you were younger? Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play. The sky wasn't cloudy all day. The sky is so cloudy that you can't see the blueness of the sky anymore. Have you noticed that? I've noticed it. And where before, you could be, a few years ago, there were chemtrails everywhere. I remember when they started doing it, and the sky was blue and beautiful, and you see this plane go overhead, and there's this line that doesn't dissipate quickly as it would if it was a contrail. It was a chemtrail. Then you see another one. Then they start doing this whole tic-tac-toe thing. Then people start fighting and acting crazy all over the place. And even Prince talked about that before he died, how he had noticed that over north. And it's true. Now you got everybody want to hurt everybody else for no reason or whatever, and it doesn't make any sense at all. You can't look at anybody any kind of way. You know, people start cussing you out. Next thing you know, they might be ready to go to pow pow. And I don't need no pow pow in my life. I don't. So, stay in my lane, do what I got to do, and I don't bother nobody. And they don't bother me. But I know, if the lights go out, if the power goes off, if the stores are shut, I got some preps. And I'm ready. And I'm hoping that you're ready too. I will talk to you again soon. I think I'm going to make a cup of hot cocoa or something. Just so that I can sit back and relax from doing that extra long walk, from having to drop my car off at a place where I can park it and have it not come up missing. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.